Hey everybody, there are a ton of ways that you can follow us online. We've got our website, realnerdspodcast.com, that you can go to and you can read articles and find the podcast episodes there as well. If you like social media, you can follow us on Facebook at Real Nerds Podcast or on Twitter and Instagram at Real Nerds. You can also call us anytime and leave a voicemail at 720-6nerds5 and then we'll play your voicemail on the show. Thanks for listening. I hope you like us.
This is Real Nerds Podcast, and every week we go see a new movie and podcast our experience of the world. This week we saw Judas and the Black Messiah. Stay tuned to the end of the episode where we will tell you to see the film, play the trailer, and then spoil it. Except I'll be bouncing out early because I forgot to watch it. Well, not forgot. I got really busy, and then I had to run errands today, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh man, this movie's more than 2 hours long. I'm not going to be able to fit this in today because I have to take my kid to a dance class that he doesn't give two shits about.
Why is he taking it?
Well, we're trying to find things for him to stay busy because that's Brad, by the way. Hi, Brad.
Hey, what's up?
Because he's so active that we try to find him stuff to keep him, occupied. And
why isn't he taking a karate class?
Well, he used to go to taekwondo, or jiu-jitsu, I'm sorry. But then the teacher for jiu-jitsu, Kellen started getting frustrated because he kept on sparring with the same kid over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the teacher had a warrant for felony domestic violence, and then I didn't want him to go there anymore.
Yeah.
Can he even do jiu-jitsu, like, in the, social distancing era? Like,
yeah, it's considered a gym. So,
yeah. What about dance, though? Like...
So the dance is at the Lakewood Cultural Center inside the theater they have there. And on the stage, they have boxes taped out. And so the kids stay in their own box and do hip-hop dancing. But Kellen doesn't pay attention to it. He just spins around on the ground and gets dirty. So,
Okay.
But yeah, anyways.
So what you're saying is Kellen won't be a Broadway star.
Yeah, maybe his rhythm is pretty spot on. If it was, I'm not paying attention to the rhythm of everybody else. Hi, Zach.
Yes.
And Corinne, you're with us as well, right?
Yep, I'm here.
I just kept thinking, Ryan, of that Family Guy gag where they're doing West Side Story and Peter's not following along with the instructions of the dance. He's like, what did I tell you? It's kick, step, step, twirl. Got it? I just thought we were going to rumble with those greasy sharks.
There's a great episode of Friends where Joey lies on his resume. He's an actor and he's a great dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to an audition and I guess the choreographer has him teach everybody the dance moves, and it's horrible and really funny.
Yep, I remember.
Yes. Anyways, announcement time. Corinne, you have an announcement for us?
I do. Movie Madness, which is the thing we started last year when all the basketball tournaments got canceled, and we needed something to do, will be returning this year. And we've decided we are going to do a bracket of 16 Disney and Pixar movies. So look forward to that starting mid-March. And check out the website and social media for more details.
I have a better idea. Movie Madness, but all the choices are In the Mouth of Madness.
No.
Either way, we'll be rewatching In the Mouth of Madness, and we'll have to make James watch it this time.
Brad, you also have an announcement.
Yeah. 3 of my short films made it into the Indie Spirit Film Festival. Well, the Colorado Short Circuit Film Festival of the Indie Spirit Film Festival franchise, I guess. Yeah. Spotlight, Legend of Drunken Brewmaster, and my 2020 Video Day project.
Yay!
So you can check that out online only, March 26th through the 28th. Go to indiespiritfilmfestival.org/CSC.
I really think our second round at this was more concise and a lot better. Good job, guys.
Because we had practice at it. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah,
Yes.
very good. Doesn't
Congratulations,
sound
Brad.
forced at all.
We really overcame ourselves during the first rehearsal and managed to pull out a really good spot in the first 5 minutes here, guys.
I've completely forgotten all the dumb jokes we made. So
Yeah. I don't know. I said something about Jack Benny, and Corinne said something about the
don't-
Brecklist.
don't Stop recalling it. We're doing so good.
We also talk about movies that are coming out on Blu-ray, movie news, things we've been watching. We're a movie podcast, and we have other nerd tastes. I'm going to make a quick mention. You should pick up George Genti, friend of the podcast, who's when we did Denver Pop Culture Con, he was on 7 out of the 8 years. And because one time I don't know why he didn't show up. He was supposed to be there, but I think he had another commitment. But he just put out an independent book called Shadow Doctor, and it's the true story about an African-American doctor in the 1930s trying to find work, and he ends up working for the mob. So it's really good. Just check it out.
All righty.
Cool.
I like Georges. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. And the art in it's really cool. It kind of has a like a colored pencil kind of look to it. Definitely different from his splashy Buffy and superhero stuff.
Yeah. I like his Instagram page is really cool. He posts a lot of different pieces of art he's doing that mostly are Buffy related, but it's really cool to look at.
Yeah, if you want to support him, because you know how much I love him, I have his original art hanging all over my house. You can go to his website, cabalounge.com, and for $250, he'll do any commissioned full body sketch you want, or for $75, he'll do a head.
Okay.
If you want to get in the con experience, you can also, it's called Galaxy Con, and it's all virtual, but you can order through them, and I think it's the same thing, but this one he'll do colored inks. So for, $250 is nothing for a piece of original art.
No, not at all. And you're supporting a really cool artist.
Yeah. But we talk about movies and movie news.
It's real news.
Alrighty. Speaking of conventions and whatnot, if there's any indication of where the future is trending, it starts with San Diego Comic-Con is going to be remaining virtual for 2021.
If you read the release, so they said they might try something in November.
Yes. So there is...
Where have we heard that before?
The statement says, while we lament the postponement of the in-person Comic-Con, our commitment to this community of fans and our celebration of comics and related popular arts endures as an important part of who we are. For this reason, we are happy to announce that San Diego Comic Convention is planning to present a three-day in-person convention in San Diego in November. At this time, we are still working on specific details as to attendance capacity, badge cost, related information, and those details will be forthcoming. Please continue to visit our website for official updated information as it becomes available. Badge cost, I am assuming, means you have to give up the rights to your house, because that's how much it's probably going to cost. That's just a gander. It's just a gander at the cost. But
yeah, so hopefully the November one will work out, because if people keep on wearing their mask and doing social distancing, hopefully the downward trends continue, and to a point where everybody who needs a vaccine can get a vaccine, and then we'll be good to go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, things are going to look up. I mean,
actually this week I might have to put up a vote for what movie we're going to see, because there's 2 new movies opening this week.
What? Wait.
And we have movies from last week we didn't do, so.
I know. Fudge. Are we starting to get back to normal?
Oh, shoot, guys. Shoot.
I was actually noticing, I haven't been to Best Buy for a bunch of weeks because, there wasn't a bunch of movies to release on Blu-ray from last year. So it's finally caught up to just a dearth of Blu-rays to buy,
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's next week, or is it the week after, is Wonder Woman has a steelbook. I mean, the movie is whatever, but the steelbook looks radical.
Yeah, I think I just have to get it because I'm a completionist.
Me too. I'm the same way. And the Mortal Kombat 2 movies are having their own steel book.
Yeah.
Which
badass.
there's no. I'm pretty sure it's the same discs, but
Yeah.
I'll be getting because I think it's only like $14 too. So
yeah. So you're just pretty much just buying like a steelbook with the logo from the first poster on one side and the logo from the second poster on the other side.
Sweet. My wife says I waste money.
She's crazy. She's crazy.
Totally.
You don't waste money. Wait a minute, Ryan. How many copies of Friday the 13th have you bought?
The question isn't whether to ask why.
You're right. How dare I ask?
Unimportant. Now, don't ask me how many copies of Army of Darkness I have, because that's worse.
Well, it fills a garage. That's what you told me last time.
Pretty much.
Ryan, is it over 10?
Of Army of Darkness?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's see.
He has to think about it.
Are we counting VHSs or just DVDs
Yes.
and Blu-rays?
Nope. All media.
So I have 3 VHSs. Oh, fuck, it is more than 10. I have... Sorry, I'm counting them right now. I have
What, like physically or just like in your head?
in my head.
Okay, I was like, do you have like a Army of Darkness section on your shelf? You almost need one.
It's in a vault, Corinne.
I do have it in our guest bedroom where I have all my like stuff that Laura's embarrassed that I have.
I think there's 2 Blu-ray releases and 3 DVD releases.
Yeah, so 3, 6. I have 9, Corinne, so not quite 10. But when Scream Factory releases their 4K, then it'll be exactly 10.
Don't worry, Ryan. I'll get you another copy for Christmas.
Thank you.
That way it'll stem the heat off of you having to buy it.
I even have
Do
limited
you want my-
edition VHS that's in the gold plastic case.
Oh, nice.
I'll give you temporarily give you my Army of Darkness laser disc so you can claim 10 right now.
Ooh, nice. Score. See, I would get the laser disc for the art alone.
Exactly. That's why I got it.
Leave it lying around to let your wife know where you stand.
Actually, if I ever found it, I would probably get one of those vinyl frames that you can get and probably put it in it.
Actually, yeah. Brad, why haven't you done that with yours? Well, hold on. The question might have been silly.
Yeah, walk that statement back.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Sorry. Oh, that was douchey of me. I didn't mean to. I apologize.
No, it's fine. It is funny.
Someday, though.
I don't have my own space.
Yeah.
All my stuff is in buckets.
Yeah. Give it to me. I'll put it on my wall temporarily. My wall's barren. It only has one floating shelf.
Ryan would totally get it before you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you've got others. You've got other laser discs floating around that room.
But me? No, everything's in buckets, man.
Oh, okay. Fine. Whatever. Anyway.
Anyways, what else is going on in the news world?
Well, a lot, actually, and I kind of want to get into your thoughts on this particular end, Ryan. So, Paramount Plus is becoming a thing, and amongst the things that were announced for this is that Mission Impossible 7 and A Quiet Place Part 2, amongst other films, will be streaming on Paramount Plus 45 days after their theatrical debut. So, between Universal, Paramount Plus, HBO Max, I think this is where every single studio is trending. Seems like it's the next step. So,
Well, I mean, they kind of have to, and they proved this week, which is, I don't know if you've seen the box office, but they said Tom and Jerry made 3.8, but they revised it to over 14 million.
yikes.
which is pretty impressive for
How was
day to
the
day
count off?
on streaming, and it's the second highest grossing movie since the pandemic started opening, right behind Wonder Woman. So,
Why was the count off? Like, what? Is it just because they added
I
the
don't know.
streaming?
revenue? I don't know. Well, because Warner Brothers doesn't release their numbers until today. So I think it was like a guess of where they were at.
Does this obligate us to watch Tom and Jerry now? Like,
well, stay tuned to what we've been watching, and I'll let you know.
Oh no, I might still go, even though I'm like, I'm already kind of regretting my decision to do so. Anywho, though, but the other things that are be going straight to Paramount Plus will be a new Paranormal Activity sequel and a Pet Sematary prequel. Well, and so first of all, for the Paranormal Activity, it's going to be written by Christopher Landon, who worked on one of the latter entries and has been becoming successful for the Happy Death Day films and the movie Freaky. And it will be directed by William Eubank, who handled the movie Underwater, the Kristen Stewart movie, which I believe, Ryan, you saw?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Cool, right on. And then there's going to be an origin story movie for Pet Sematary. Jeff Bueller, who wrote the 2019 remake, is set to pen the script, and Di Bonaventura will be producing it through his production company. So yeah, it looks like they're kind of diversifying, and Paramount Plus is already trying to set itself apart from the other streaming services with its own content. So that's interesting. Moving on though to another big announcement. After much worry and wonder, we finally have a title. Ryan, do you want to announce the title of the new Spider-Man movie for all of us?
Yeah, so when I picked Homesick, no, it's No Way Home.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Homeward Bound 2, but nobody wanted to take me up on that.
The little video they posted was cute.
Yeah, that was very adorable. The fake ones they put up, I loved Homewrecker the most. But yes,
I was pulling for work from home for to celebrate our pandemic.
Yep. And then with that too, we also have some news regarding Mr. Edgar Wright, whose own movie Last Night in Soho will be premiering later this year. We're also going to be getting another film from him, a documentary that he did called The Sparks Brothers, which is a film that broke through at Sundance. It centers around a band that nobody's heard of, but except for a lot of fun celebrities like Flea, Beck, Jack Antonoff, Jason Schwartzman, Neil Gaiman, and all these other people talking about the Sparks Brothers odyssey through music. So I would love to see what a documentary by Edgar Wright looks like. I imagine it will be very vibrant and some killer editing. And then we got some trailers. First a weird one, and then a one that I don't know how to feel about. First, the weird one. Rugrats is getting rebooted for Paramount Plus with the original voice cast, and they decided to turn it all CG. Am I the only one here who would have been a Rugrats watcher as a kid? I'm assuming so.
No, I watched it. I think it was before your time when you were a kid, Zach.
Yeah, it was the first.
One of the first movie we all went to in the theater.
Well, yeah, but the movie was way after the TV show.
Okay,
yeah,
I remember
TV shows that like the first three of the Nicktoons, Doug and Ren and Stimpy. Yeah,
I was gonna say, Brad, I remember that in like the early '90s. I was really young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's seeing him in CGI reminds me of seeing Simpsons or Family Guy in 3D. It just doesn't quite look right.
Yeah, there's a scraggly feeling to the 2D animation that the Rugrats had at Klasky Csupo was the animation studio. And they had it just kind of felt like a nice little it felt like grungy. It felt fun. I don't know. This feels too smooth.
To answer your initial question, Zach, I did watch it a little bit back in the day, but I was more of a Hey Arnold person.
Hey Arnold was cool.
I watched way more Disney and Cartoon Network than I did Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I grew away from Nick and went to Cartoon Network when I was a kid, but except for Fairly Odd Parents. Fairly Odd Parents I watched a lot on Nickelodeon. And I still kind of quote it every so often. So, but yeah, look for more Rugrats. And then Mr. Zack Snyder's having a very busy year. In addition to getting to finish his Justice League movie, he has a trailer for Army of the Dead, which is his zombie movie that he has put out, and we got a trailer for it. It looks like speed ramp zombie movie. So sure, I'm down. It's Dave Bautista's in it,
it's
right?
on Netflix. Why not?
Yeah, looks fine. Looks fine. I couldn't tell if he got any practical effects going on or if it's all CGI situation. I couldn't tell. Like, the trailer was very fast cut and seemed to be focusing more on any slow-mo that he could get.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Ryan, are you excited for it, or?
Yeah, I'm in
Okay.
different. Like I am about a lot of Zack Snyder stuff. I mean, even this Justice League, I have my doubts that it's going to be some amazing, what do you call it, revelation.
At the very least, I think it'll be more cohesive than the first one we got.
I mean,
I don't know. Because to me, it seems like he's throwing a lot of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Keeping someone's attention for 4 hours is really hard.
Well, apparently the movie's going to end on a cliffhanger. So, because that's originally how it was going to end the first time to set up the other two Justice League movies that we won't get anyway. So this is literally...
I'm assuming it's going to be Darkseid showing up. That's going to be the cliffhanger.
See, Corinne, it doesn't matter because they're not going to make those movies because it already got indicated by the box office that nobody wanted to see that version of the DC universe. It's not to throw shade. It's just that's what ended up happening.
Well, maybe if this works out for them, they'll reconsider.
See, I kind of hope that because I would love to see Snyder do his thing, even though I've kind of grown past caring. But...
I don't know if that would happen because like he's already kind of moved on himself.
He's doing Army of the Dead.
But then like even if you start it now, like you have to get those actors back, 3 years down the road.
Yeah. And I know that, I mean, Ray Fisher's already on the outs with Warner Brothers. Ben Affleck's going back to dramas. Gal Gadot, well, I guess Gal Gadot would probably come back as Wonder Woman, possibly. And I mean, I don't know what has Jason.
It's going to be a little while. She just announced her pregnancy, so.
Oh, Wonder Woman gonna have a Wonder Baby! Woo!
So she gets time off, which she deserves.
Sweet, right on. And then, does anybody know what Jason Momoa is doing? I'm not sure. Probably just hanging out and looking cool.
I think they already started working on Aquaman 2, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Did they replace Amber Heard? What's going on with that?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
I heard the firing is a rumor, but you know,
okay, whatever.
They still haven't rolled anything yet, so we'll see.
There we go. Right on. Well, in the meantime, Jason Momoa can still kick back and look cool. Whatever. And then, last other piece of news that I really have is that we had the virtual Golden Globes, and Chloe Zhao, the director of last week's film Nomadland, won Best Director. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice, fun accomplishment there. So let's see what happens when the Oscars roll around. There was that, and there were apparently technical glitches with this year's Golden Globes because audio went out on Daniel Kaluuya winning Best Supporting Actor for our movie this week. Interesting to see what unfolded in the result of an awards ceremony in COVID times. I did not watch the ceremony. Did anybody here catch any parts of it? Ryan, I know you sometimes like these ceremonies.
I hardly ever watch the Golden Globes though.
You're the Oscar guy because of of your wife.
The Golden Globes are usually like at night, and I'm always working for some reason.
Yeah. Well, and also, Ryan, full disclosure, the Hollywood Foreign Press is an association of people who nominated The Tourist back in 2010, so I don't know what to think of their judgment these days. Remember The Tourist, guys? Of course you don't. That's why we'll never talk about it again beyond what I've just said.
I'm pretty sure it's one of our movies of the week.
The Tourist?
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that. I look back at
nominated for Best Comedy.
Now I have to go back and find your the Tourist episode and re-listen to it.
That movie is awful.
Yeah, duh. But that's right. It was 2010. You started in 2010, so yeah.
It's one of our early ones.
Oh wait, it was 2010.
Yeah, it's 2010.
Are you sure? You're talking about the Johnny Depp one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before the podcast.
Did we not do it for film? I remember seeing it with you, didn't we, Brad?
Yeah, but I think it's before Real Nerds when we were doing like
Nebcast.
Was this Nebcast or Surface Domain? Sorry, Brad, I called it surface domain.
Yeah, no one gets it right. Yeah, no, Real Nerds started in June of 2011, so if The Tourist came out before then,
The Tourist, release date, December 10th, 2010. Cinematography by John Mad Max Fury Road Seal. And directed by Florian Henkel von Dommersmark. So, yeah. And that's news, guys.
Movies sometimes come out on Blu-ray that we might get.
DVD releases and Blu-rays. Well, Ryan, didn't you already get Monster Hunter, or did you just watch Monster Hunter?
No, I went to the movie theaters to see it.
Okay, well, now you can get it on 4K. How about that, huh?
All right. Got to complete my Paul W.S. Anderson collection.
Yeah, it's called The Basement Saga, right?
It's we're in a place we can't get out of.
Like,
and we got to solve this problem.
The We're Trapped legacy. And then something called Cthulhu Mansion from 1992 is coming out from Vinegar Syndrome. I didn't realize Cthulhu had a sweet pad people could hang out with at it. Satan's Blood from 1978, also coming out from Vinegar Syndrome. Dark Tower from Vinegar Syndrome as well. We are getting a re-release of She's the Man from 2006. This is an Amanda Bynes Channing Tatum joint that
an excellent movie.
That's what I've heard. I've never seen it. Corinne, are you the only one who's seen it? Or has Ryan seen it?
No, I've seen it.
Didn't like it?
I would not use the term excellent with that movie, but it's all right.
Okay.
It's excellent for what it is, I guess is maybe a better way to phrase it. It's one of those like weird teen rom-com adaptation of a previous work sort of thing. Kind of like Clueless, but maybe a little bit more mid-2000s, I guess.
Like Clueless or 10 Things I Hate About You.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Don't forget to mention the great one. And then Zappa, the documentary about Frank Zappa from 2020, recommendation of Real Nerds listener Zach Bynes. So yeah, if you want to check that out, you should totally. I need to pop and get a copy of it and watch it myself. And then we're getting some Bob Hope movies on Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. You can pick up Nothing But the Truth, My Favorite Blonde, and Caught in a Draft. So yeah, you have your choice of seeing Bob hang out with Paulette Goddard, Madeline Carroll, or Dorothy Lamour. So yeah, choices are aplenty, guys. Pick up some Bob Hope films. Have some memories to be thankful for. And then,
man, I know how Bob Hope felt, performing all those things in Saudi Arabia.
Hi,
that's a Dundee's joke.
Yep. Hi, I'm Tom Tucker. Beloved comedian Bob Hope came back to life today, only to die tragically in a motorcycle accident. Hey, I'm going to jump over these trash cans.
That's an early Family Guy joke.
That's such a weird Family Guy joke is what that is. I still love it, though. And then a Pinocchio movie from Samuel Goldwyn Films is coming out, which has Roberto Benigni in it, who did a Pinocchio movie in the early 2000s. Guys, what's happening? What happened? What?
That movie came out, I remember, because it was either that or Monster Hunter with Kellen.
Wow.
At the theater.
Ryan,
I was going to see it, but yeah.
Ryan, I think you might have made the right choice, because I saw that first Roberto Benigni Pinocchio movie, and it's not good. So why?
Well, he didn't direct the new one.
No, he didn't. But I'm just seeing the name there and putting some dots together. I guess I'm assuming Benigni plays Geppetto in this one, because that's got to be where he's at this point. Yeah, and then looks like...
No, I heard he plays the whale.
A whale of a whale.
Does the whale get up on its chair when it wins an Oscar? Anyway, and then we're getting a bunch of 2-packers from Disney, so you can get Aladdin and Aladdin, or Beauty and the Beast and Beauty and the Beast. Or you can get Cinderella and Cinderella. Or you can get The Lion King and The Lion King. So yeah. Or Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. Okay, so that's the only one that just dares to have a name change. So yeah, you can pick up the originals and the remakes in a 2-pack if that's your deal. Or, I don't know, They don't have a Jungle Book one, so I guess I'm not interested. But anyway, that's Blu-rays.
We watch films throughout the week in a segment I call What We've Been Watching.
So, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Ren, what'd you watch this week?
3 things, and we'll save WandaVision for the end, since I'm sure you all watched it too. Caught up on the latest episode of Hanyo no Yashahime. We have 3 left now, and I'm really, really concerned as to how they're going to satisfactorily wrap up this entire show. Assuming they don't get a second season, which I feel like if they were, they should have announced it by now, but I'm still holding out hope that they will. We got some major backstory. Well, I guess not major. We got some backstory on, I wouldn't say he's a villain. At least we don't know he's a villain yet. He's just kind of like an anti-hero. He's sneaking around. He has like ties to the main villains of the show, but he kind of is doing his own thing. And we're just kind of like, what exactly is his deal? So there's like a little love connection forming between him and the main character. So I'm not super on board with it, but I'm like, whatever. It's okay. Next week's episode looks pretty good, though. And then...
So what is this on, Corinne, where they only release it one at a time?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Hulu is streaming it over here. It's airing in Japan, and then they do it like a couple hours delay with English subtitles on Hulu.
Gotcha. Just curious.
Yeah, so it's like a show that's airing right now over there, and then Hulu has like some kind of agreement to where they can stream it here.
He's wondering, Corinne, because he's...
So, yay. And then another anime I've been watching on Netflix called Cells at Work. Really good. Kind of weird. You have to kind of get into it. So the premise is like, it's basically Osmosis Jones, where all the characters are cells in a body, but they don't, unlike Osmosis Jones, they don't look like cells in a body. They look like people, and they live in houses, and they, transport oxygen that's in little boxes and everything. So it's almost like the concept, but like if you gave it a real world aesthetic for the most part. The germs and the bacteria and everything are the big exception. So they look like monsters and aliens and just kind of weird designs that apparently are based on what they look like under a microscope, is what I've been told. But it's really interesting. They tackle different types of things that go on in a body, like different bacteria invade. There's an episode with the virus, with an influenza virus, where they make it out to like, it's like a zombie apocalypse in their universe. The one I just watched was about like how red blood cells are made in the bone marrow, and then they graduate. They're like, oh my gosh, never thought I would say this, but the platelets are the cutest things. They're like little kids. And there was one episode about an abrasion where they have to like come in and save the day by like putting this net out over everything. I have learned so much more about biology and anatomy from the show than I ever did in my high school biology class. Suck it, Mr. Nielsen. You suck as a teacher.
Oh, fuck. Wow. You just broke his heart.
Yeah, if he ever listens to this, I'm sure he'll be really heartbroken. But no, it's... And the one I just finished watching right before we started recording, it was building up to the cancer episode, which I've heard is really, really good. So I'm like, oh no. It does make you like really self-aware of like, anytime I like touch my, hand in my nose, are these all bacteria getting in and they're fighting all of my little cells? And it just makes you like super aware of everything that's could be going on in your body right now. Like, oh crap, my white blood cells are probably taking out some bacteria right this second. So anyway, I recommended it to Ryan already, but it's just a super interesting kind of weird show that I recommend everybody check out. Cells at Work on Netflix. Okay. And then last, you guys can jump in. watched WandaVision. I thought that this latest episode was the finale, so I was kind of a little confused as to why it was mostly flashbacks. And then the thing that the person says at the very end of like, "You are the Scarlet Witch," and I'm like, why is that some big revelation? I don't get it. And then I was disappointed until they found out, oh, there's one more episode. Oh, thank goodness. So.
Well, I mean, the big thing is she's never been called the Scarlet Witch. She's always been called Wanda. And my guess, too, is the best part of this episode is Dick Van Dyke is now part of the MCU.
Yeah.
And...
Well, he exists in the MCU. He's
the
not
big
really
takeaway
part
is,
of it.
you know, it's kind of rewriting a little bit of he is. In my mind, he is, Corinne. Don't ruin my dream. And
he influenced Wanda. Like, he's a big part of who she... Like, I remember talking about the show weeks and weeks ago, saying, like, you know, I don't understand these 3 episodes. Like, what do they mean to Wanda? Because we'd never seen it before. There's been no established pretense for them as her being like a fan of classic television, and this episode finally, you know, puts weight to that.
And I love that they use the old DVDs. Like, those Dick Van Dyke DVDs were so beautiful.
Yeah,
I loved them.
I was always bummed like that. You know, we collected them season by season, and then they came out that like box set that's like a TV, like she has.
Yeah,
like the whole collected one.
But the good thing is we got the I don't know what you'd call them, the moving.
It's like a lenticular.
What do you call those, Brad?
I think it's a lenticular.
Yeah, lenticular. Yeah, I think that's right. In a little mini TV on them. That's the only thing. I mean, I have the Blu-rays, which are really hard to find now, I guess. But that's the only thing I always think about, going back in and getting my DVD sets and putting the Blu-rays in them. But then it'd take up more space. But, you know, anyways. But I actually think it's interesting because they always said that the reason she got her powers because Hydra experimented on her. But now I think, because she's always had the powers, I think this is a way they're bringing mutants into the MCU, as she's already been one.
Did you say mutants? Ooh.
Which lends more credence to the theory that the big surprise cameo is going to be Ian McKellen or Patrick Stewart.
No, I think now that it, based on this week's episode, I think the joke that Paul Bettany was really looking forward to acting with an actor. I think he's referring to himself because you know,
there'll be 2 visions. Yeah,
there's 2 visions floating around in the next episode.
Well, that's a cheeky way to express narcissism.
Yeah.
I hope
He's
not.
English. Everything he does is cheeky.
I bet for the finale there's going to be some big thing that happens, and I mean, maybe it's like the whole multiverse thing, maybe it's mutants, who knows, but I'm not taking it off the table quite yet.
What if it's Hugh Jackman and he's been fooling us this entire time with this retirement after Logan?
I'd be stoked.
Dude, that'd be
what's
dope.
weird, though, is so this show basically goes into Doc Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
And here's my out of the left field. I have no basis on this at all, but Tom Holland's been doing interviews because his new movie Cherry came out.
Yeah.
And he said that his contract is fulfilled with Marvel after No Way Home. But part of his contract originally was he appeared in a new movie and once in an MCU Marvel thing. So is he going to show up in WandaVision?
It's either that or Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Or
Anyways,
he could be in Falcon Winter Soldier.
yeah.
I think the cameo is just going to be because I guess people are saying that White Vision is basically Ultron in a new body, so you might have a James Spader voice return.
That'd be sweet.
No,
Brad,
no,
don't
no.
hype me up like that. Don't hype me up.
Corinne, it's not the crossover you think is going to happen.
But no, it's interesting, and they always talk about how Nightmare is the going to be the villain in Doctor Strange 2, and that fit into the maybe Nightmare's pulling strings too, because they reference it might be a walnut pretty heavily in that episode where, Rob goes to sleep and he's living a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what Wanda's doing right now. I don't know. I'm interested. I think this show's been really fun, and it's one of the few things that it's a show I've been looking forward to every week, and that hasn't happened in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I've had more fun with like the sitcom aspect of it, of just kind of paying homage to all these older shows. And I guess like the mystery or like what's going on with Wanda and all that can be interesting, but I don't know. I felt like I knew what was happening going in from the start, so I don't think it's adding a lot to the show the way that the other part is.
I just think it's basically going through her grief. There might not be a big bad villain. Maybe it's just she's stuck here, and Agatha Harkness, just preyed on her because of her vulnerability.
I mean, what's wrong with having Agatha Harkness as the big bad?
Nothing.
She may not. It might be that she just, sees that Wanda's this overpowered, entity, and that she wants to, prevent her from, destroying the universe or something.
Yeah, I did like Agatha Harkness's origin. That was badass when it was like corpses were falling out of the sky. The other witches. I'm like, oh, that's pretty gruesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, Brad, I kind of agree with you. That's the way it seems to be leaning based off what she said there at the very end.
Oh.
I don't know about it. I don't know about like the comics, but the way she said it, of like, you are using chaos magic, you are the Scarlet Witch, makes it seem like, this is something that happens in this universe, like maybe, I don't know, once in 1,000 years. And so she's like, oh shit, like this gal's got crazy wicked power, she's gonna destroy everything.
Wait,
she might just want to be a mentor,
Yeah.
Ryan, can you back up a couple of sentences? You do just
Sure.
say that bodies fall from the sky in WandaVision?
Well,
we talking like
Agatha
bloody
Harkness
corpses, or?
No, Agatha Harkness, when it flashes back to Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
And the other witches are trying to take her power, and then she ends up basically Indiana Jonesing them and sucking the energy out of them, and they turn into like shriveled up corpses.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, what is this show rated?
So it's funny you say that. The first, I think, 3 episodes were TV PG,
Mm-hmm.
and the last few ones have been TV 14.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the show, guys. Don't worry. You know me, always behind Zach.
Brad, what'd you watch this week?
Not a lot. I watched the movie Hard Rain with Christian Slater and Morgan Freeman.
That's a John Woo movie, right? Or is that Ridley
so.
Scott?
I don't think it's anyone notable. Let me look it up real quick.
It might be Ridley Scott, actually. Or is this Black Rain? I can't remember.
This is probably Black Rain.
Is it Chocolate Rain? Ryan, you know
Is
what
it
to do.
Raining Man? Raining Men.
Is it Rain Man?
Hallelujah.
No, I was saying, is it Raining Men?
I know, and then I complimented it, Corinne.
That's Michael Solomon.
Oh. What's the fucking one? What did Ridley Scott direct with Rain in it?
I think you're right. Black Rain.
Is it Black Rain? Okay.
Let me look it up.
I'm looking
Anyways,
it up.
what's the movie you watched about, Brad, before I derailed the whole podcast?
Yeah, Christian Slater is like a security truck driver. Yeah, Ridley Scott directed Black Rain.
Nice.
With Michael Douglas, which I tried to watch once and didn't finish. Yeah, Christian Slater's a
It's
armored
out here and it's raining really hard.
he's an armored truck guard with Ed Asner.
Okay.
I'll let you finish, Zach. Get that
No,
laugh.
I was just giggling. I'll mute my mic.
With Ed Asner, you didn't mute yourself. I can hear you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Christian Slater and Ed Asner are armored truck drivers, and they're trying to get a huge like $3 million payload through. I don't know what. I think it's like Louisiana or something. And it's like the heaviest rainfall in history, and the dam is going to overflow. And Morgan Freeman is part of just a gang that wants to hijack the armored truck, but they want to do it without, getting anyone killed, and that goes wrong, obviously. So
you never said you were going to kill the guy.
And Ed Asner is also like his uncle or something, so it becomes personal when they accidentally kill him. And
of course, that's a Last Action Hero trope.
But basically, the whole movie is above like gallons and gallons of like the whole city, the town is flooded throughout the whole movie, and it's taking place on boats, and people are like swimming through everything. It's kind of like it's an okay story, the local police turn out like when they find out that they can obtain this payload too. They kind of double cross, and they're like, we're just small town cops. Do you want to do that forever? Let's get rich.
Of course.
And then eventually, Morgan Freeman and Christian Slater, who were once against each other, have to team up to stop them. And they're, it's kind of dumb, but like as a filmmaker, just thinking about having to make that movie with that much water around, because there's not like CGI backgrounds, right? So it's either like I was trying to figure out, do they just have giant sets that they built in giant water tanks, or is like I can't imagine they flooded a town, but it looks like a town.
Could be models. Could be a model situation.
And, like, it didn't look like miniatures, but
well, like but like they might have used models for some of the shots. I mean,
yeah, I like if the backgrounds are miniatures, like that's impressive. So I was just like, even just constructing a tank on the lot is expensive,
But when was the movie made?
It has to be mid-90s.
Or like even early 90s if it's Christian Slater, right?
Yeah, it's like mid-90s, 98.
Okay, I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
maybe they used the Titanic set.
Yeah, he was.
Maybe all the runoff from that movie.
Yeah, they collected it. They don't want to waste water in LA.
Yeah, it's a ton of. It's so much water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty White's in it.
Does she marry Ed Asner at the end?
No.
Then she'd marry a corpse. Did you listen to Brad? He died.
Oh, that's true.
She just plays like the nagging wife of his husband who is like, we should have got out of the town earlier, and she insists on staying, and
there you go.
They get kidnapped and held hostage, oh my God, Charles from Ninja Turtles is in there. I didn't even notice him. Yeah, Minnie Driver is like restoring a church that gets flooded. Yeah, Randy Quaid's the sheriff. But yeah, it was just interesting to like. The whole time I was just really thinking about like, wow, how'd they like film this, with all this electric equipment around, and it's a large non-CGI set, It's been cold, and it doesn't look like there's like a place to offload everything nearby. So yeah, it's just as far as filmmaking goes, it's just interesting. And then the last thing I watched was the show called Wayne, which was a YouTube original that got sent over to Amazon Prime, and it's really good. It's about a teenager who kind of dispenses his own brand of justice. It takes place in Brockton, Massachusetts, so a lot of Boston accents going around.
Wicked smart.
Yeah, everything's wicked there. But he's this loner kid who. The first scene of the show is he rolls up on these guys hanging out in front of this store, and even though he doesn't do anything, they start picking on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks away and then picks up a rock and then throws it through the store window. And then the guy comes out and like beats the shit out of him for it. And then after he's done getting beaten, he walks back over and picks up another rock and throws it through another window.
Because he's without sin, so he can cast as many stones as he wants.
And then later on in the show, you find out like what that was all about. a couple of episodes down, but like that's you're entering into this thing. Like he seems to have like the superhuman ability to like just get beat up constantly, but then he'll like he carries a hammer everywhere he goes, and so when he sees other injustices going on, he dishes it out back. So yeah, he leaves school. His dad has cancer, and his dad dies in the first episode, so he burns his house down with his dad in it and just heads out to Florida so he can obtain his dad's like gold Firebird that was stolen from him at some point. And before he goes, this girl Deb shows up at his house to sell him Girl Scout cookies, and he just invites her to come along, and she's weird, so she just goes along with it. And the rest of the show is them heading down to Florida to try to get this car back. And as things unravel, you find out like why he asked her in the first place and her home situation. The guy from the Mayhem commercials is her dad, and she has like two douchebag brothers. And once they find out that she's leaving, they beat up Wayne. And then Wayne fights back and bites off his nose. And so the rest of the show, they're trying to track them down on the way to Florida. And then Mike O'Malley from Legends of the Hidden Temple, I think, or is it Nickelodeon Guts?
I think it's. Oh man,
I think
is it?
I think it's Guts.
I think it's Guts. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the principal. And he wants to, he's hopeful that Wayne can turn his life around. And then when he finds out he's going down there, Wayne's the only, I guess, friend Wayne has is this other kid who convinces his guardian to let him pal around with the principal to go down to Florida to also get him back. So Deb's dad, the principal, and just the normal police detective are all trying to track them down. So there's like 4 storylines going on, and it's just interesting where all those things like thread to. But unfortunately, because it's a YouTube original, it's only 1 season with a cliffhanger, and so hopefully people get interested enough that they try to revive it. But yeah, it was really great, and it's super violent. So
I'm listening. I
was like, Ryan should watch this show. Yeah, like I said, he bites off the girl's dad's nose, and yeah, other people as they go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Zach?
All right. I watched a few things. I did a couple Ballyhoo recordings for one film that I had seen before many times, and one that I'd never seen. So one of them was for Freaks from 1932, the Todd Browning controversial masterpiece, I guess I would call it. I've watched this a bunch, but rewatching it for this recording, before I say what I'm going to say, let me ask Ryan, have you seen it? You've seen it before, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like in this weird zone nowadays watching it where I'm like, I could understand why somebody wouldn't like this today, but I still find it to be this like amazing masterpiece of like subversive, like Todd Browning just like absolutely swinging for the fences for a movie made at any time period. Like there's a lot of questionable things in it, but the story grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go. Like it is like it's not really a horror movie. It's a circus, day in a life circus melodrama that turns into a horror movie in the last 5 minutes. Like
I think it's an uncomfortable movie.
It's very uncomfortable. And that's part of why I still am compelled to look at it. It's also it's a movie where I feel like the making of the movie is even more interesting than the movie itself at times. Like I mean, I won't like give too much for what we talked about, but the whole idea of Browning having this like unprecedented like golden ticket to make whatever movie he wanted after the success of Dracula, and he had a chance to do a high class detective story with the Barrymores, John and Lionel, and instead he's just like, no, I want to make this movie about sideshow performers. And I mean, like, props to Harry Earls, the guy who plays Hans in the movie, to be actively finding a property that a little person could perform in that era. Like that takes all kinds of gumption that I just still marvel at. But yeah, I mean, it's also a movie where I wish we had the footage that they had to cut out in order to appease the censors, because that movie pushes a bunch of boundaries with the censors of that era, especially. But there's easily 20 minutes missing out of that movie, and you can tell about it by the editing. But it still works. Again, it's a movie that if you watch it, you should go in with context on it, and also, I think just be prepared to not overthink a lot of things in there. But it is, as Ryan said, it is uncomfortable to watch at times. And then a movie that I watched for the first time, Ryan, is an Abbott and Costello movie that is not part of that Universal pack. It's called Rio Rita, from 1942. In it, Bud and Lou are on the run after they've been fired from their pet shop job. Amongst the other things in there is that Bud wants Lou to get a peek at take a look at Mrs. Pike's Peak, and Lou goes, "Mrs. Pike's Peak, why can't I get a good look at her?" But then anyway, they hide in the back of a trunk of a car, and they are whisked off to the Hotel Vista del Rio, and they get caught up in an entire scheme involving Nazi spies. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's not the best Abbott and Costello movie I've ever seen, but it's still a lot of fun. And especially talking about it with my guest, like, you know, like just dissecting what made Abbott and Costello work then and make it still work today is so much fun to kind of like pick apart bit by bit. But that's one of the reasons why I ended up ordering, and now I'm going to have to reorder for a cheaper price, the Bud and Lou box set, which has been on my back burner for a while. In conjunction with Freaks, I tried to find a movie that I had known from like the last couple of years where they kind of connected, and I ended up going back to The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which the whole movie is still wonderful. It's a solid anthology with every story hitting the right mark, even if there are ones I prefer over others. That first segment with Tim Blake Nelson is still frickin' miraculous. The girl who got rattled, I think, like, watching it now, it's the one that, because it's the longest, it feels like it drags a little bit by comparison to the other segments. So I'm not as particularly interested in it, but it's still got like a great performance from Zoe Kazan. And then I still love the Mortal Remains one at the end, where it's the people leading people to the great beyond, and Meal Ticket with Liam Neeson, which has the Freaks allegory in there with Harry Melling being the wingless thrush sideshow performer, is still very depressing and very haunting and very, very bleak. So yeah, if you haven't watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it's still on Netflix. There's no reason not to check it out. And again, as I keep saying, hopefully they put that on Blu-ray. And then I rewatched The Treasure of the Sierra Madre with the Film Club. I loved watching people react to that movie. There were people who hadn't seen it before. And so getting to see their reactions, I think, was the ultimate reward for that movie. Like that, watching people first seeing that what happens to Bogart in it, but then seeing the final shot of the movie. And I mean, and I made no bones about it right after that, going like, this is the reason I love this movie, is because exactly what happens at like within the last 2 minutes of the movie. And I won't spoil it because I feel like even if Brad wouldn't like it, I think he should still watch it. Let's see, and then
Also, I haven't seen it.
You would like it, Corinne. I think I think you'd like it. It's really cool. It's really fun. It's It's a movie about a man slowly driving himself into becoming the devil. But he's also got a fun prospector friend who tries to tell him, hey, don't become the devil. And Bogey's like, no, I'm going to become the devil. And then Tim Holt's there to be the beating heart of that movie because all he wants to do is have a peach orchard, and he should have a peach orchard. Why the hell not? But yeah, watch the movie. Really, really good. And then, yeah, and that's all I really watched this week.
Yeah, I watched, I guess, a couple things. I mentioned that I did watch Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's whatever. It's harmless. It exists. It's not that great.
Is Looney Tunes back in action better, Ryan? Say it.
Yes.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh, not even like close.
So we won't be doing an episode on it after all.
I don't think we need to because I think we're pretty booked now. The premise is what you saw in the trailer, that Jerry sneaks into a hotel and Tom tries to get him. But what they don't tell you is Jerry's kind of a dick at the beginning and ruins Tom's performance at a
Pretty sure Jerry's always a dick.
He's
more
both ways.
More often than not, he's the victim and Tom's making fun of him and Jerry gets back at him. That's what I always remembered.
I always loved the one where Jerry had the little French nephew, and he always said, "Bonjour, Mr. Jerry." I always loved that one. But yeah, it's cute. Callan liked it. The animation in it's spectacular. It has a kind of a Roger Rabbit vibe to it, where all the animals in it are animated.
That's cool.
Yeah, not just Tom and Jerry. If you watch Tom and Jerry cartoons, they do have Spike in it and things like that. But even just people walking their dogs on the street, they're all animated, and the birds are animated, and so it's kind of a cool thing. Like I said, the animation's pretty great because they do 2D and it's cell drawn animation, and it's pretty nice.
That makes sense, though, because in the Tom and Jerry cartoons, they never made bones about it that, like, the human beings were real. Like, that they were, like, at least aesthetically drawn to look realistic. Like, you would only see their feet or their legs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. And Chloe Grace Moretz, I don't know if she's meant for this kind of humor. She's fine in it, but I don't know. I don't know who I would pick instead. But
me,
yes, you would be more convincing than she was.
Okay.
So spoilers for my, hopefully will be ending sometime next 2 weeks, favorite Blu-rays for 2020. I was doing research and making notes for Warner Archive released The Curse of Frankenstein on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
The Blu-ray is spectacular. If you don't know what Curse of Frankenstein is, it's the Hammer film that kind of made Hammer. It's the first, if I remember right, it's the first film that had Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee in it. Peter Cushing plays Victor Frankenstein, and Christopher Lee plays the monster. And this movie's, if you've never seen it, the movie's amazing. Mm-hmm. Because the real villain in it is not the monster, it's Victor Frankenstein, and Peter Cushing is incredible in the film. Where he's really arrogant.
Dr. Frankenstein was always the villain. Didn't you read the book?
Because he tried to play God.
And he totally abandoned the creature that he just made. He's a terrible person.
Until they fight each other on that boat, Corinne.
Yeah, but I mean, you could always make the argument, killing children makes you a villain. But
well, maybe he wouldn't have killed children if his master creator person had set him on a better path.
Wait, did we just start the debate over Frankenstein now?
You're gosh darn right.
We've had 100-something years to do this.
There's been plenty of debate about it, just not by us.
Yeah, no, Frankenstein is always an interesting story because it's a dude playing God, and what when Young Frankenstein has ruined a movie for you, in Curse he has to get a brain, and so there's a part where him and his dude who are against it are fighting what he's doing, and the brain smashes, and Frankenstein says, I hope this brain is okay, and then the whole time I think Abby Normal. That's all I can think about.
Abby Normal.
Where he got the brain from. But I mean, it's shot well, and all the special features in it are really great. There's a whole disc of interviews with people, and my favorite one is I can't remember if it's the second or third interview, is with a guy named David Miller, who is a cinematographer on things like The Good Place and really great TV shows like Veep. And he talks about how the cinematographer for Curse of Frankenstein worked really hard in it, and how he came from black and white films, and so the lighting in it is really unique. And he went back and he broke down some scenes, and it was really cool.
Man, are they?
And they have been like
are they
a
newer?
scholar on it talking about Frankenstein the novel and how it compares to Curse of Frankenstein. It is pretty great special features.
Are they newer or are they archival?
Yeah,
from...
they're all new.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I mean, I think you can still get it. It's like $16, and it's totally worth it. It's 2 discs. There's 3 different versions of the film. They have different presentations in widescreen. I think one is 1.33 and the other one's 1.85. And they also, on the second disc, include the television version because they wanted to have the complete versions of all the films. And there's no extra footage, but it's in TV style. And their reasoning behind it was that a lot of people grew up watching it that way. And I mean, it gives you more information at the top and bottom, just not as much, wide.
It's still an interesting thing to observe.
Yeah, like why not? I mean, if you're going to do it, and all the prints or the versions of the film are new 4K restoration, so it looks amazing.
Right on.
Yeah, so I definitely, if you like Frankenstein and stuff, definitely check it out. I rewatched Romancing the Stone with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. That's a fun movie.
And Danny DeVito.
Yeah, I think it's Robert Zemeckis' first big movie because he made Back to the Future right after it.
Used Cars would have been before, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But was that a big movie? I think Romancing the Stone was like a big movie.
Well, no, Romancing the Stone's a bigger movie. I was just like, you said first big movie. Never mind. No.
Yeah.
Romancing the Stone is the reason he was allowed to make Back to the Future, because his movies before that didn't break out.
Yeah, because he had also I Want to Hold Your Hand as well, which was an early one for him.
He's a great director. I wish he did more stuff. That movie's fun. When I was growing up, I remember Jewel of the Nile more, and I haven't seen Jewel of the Nile in years, and I guess it's inferior. I don't remember it at all. But Michael Douglas is great in it. Kathleen Turner's fun. Danny DeVito's silly. It's a fun adventure. If you want to, have I have been dealing with butt heads all week, so it's been really hard for me to get into serious stuff.
Yeah,
but it's fun to turn that on and just let it breathe. Bear Grylls has a new interactive movie on Netflix where you choose what he does. It's pretty silly, but it's kind of fun. You can choose which way you want him to go. Do you want to save this baboon, or you want to save the lion? Animal sanctuary, and it's all in Bear Grylls style. So if you're bored and you have 40 minutes to kill, there's worse things you could watch. And the last thing I watched was the Blu-ray of Batman: Death in the Family, which is way better than how Brad described it. Because if you do it, so the selling point for this is also as you choose your own adventure. So of course the first thing I chose was to let Robin die. and and the way Brad described it is right. It's Bruce Wayne narrating what's happened in Death in the Family and in Under the Red Hood. So there's some new scenes, but it's really just him yapping for like 25 minutes.
Yep.
And it's like a commentary of the movie.
Yeah, it's like he's reading the comic book to you.
Yeah. I mean, the coolest part is the reveal of Clark Kent being there with him. But that's whatever. But it really gets good if you choose to save Robin, because then it branches off into about 14 different scenarios. And there is some repeat in it because you have to go through and see some of it again. But what's cool is every time you make a choice, when you watch that story play out, when the credits roll, it goes back to chapter select. So you can go back to where you branched off and made a choice. One ends really quickly, but it has decapitations and like people's heads getting blown off, and it's pretty great. And then the other one is Jason Todd kind of, I don't really want to spoil it, but the other one plays really crazy, and that one gives you like 7 different choices throughout the story. So that one ended up being probably 40 minutes long, and it's, do you kill the Joker, or it's as simple as being caught by the police. So it's pretty interesting, and it makes it a way better watch. And if you're gonna watch Death in the Family, make sure you get the Blu-ray. And
I don't know why they can't have like all those options on streaming.
yeah, because you can do it on Netflix. I guess maybe HBO Max doesn't have that capability yet. Because like I said, I just watched the Bear Grylls one, and that one, even if you choose certain paths in that one, there's this one where he gets eaten by a hippo. So, it's, and then it's pretty funny. You choose this one path and he gets eaten by the hippo, and it comes and it ends, but then it cuts and he says, "All right, let's try it a different way. Which way should we go?" So it's kind of funny. But yeah, it's weird that they didn't have that on streaming, because the streaming one is where Batman just explains what happens, and it's weird and boring.
Does it have all the other side stories like the Sergeant Rock and?
Yeah, so that all comes with it too. I think it's, I think they said 70 minutes of like DC Showcase shorts or whatever they call them. I don't know what they call them.
So showcase animated shorts.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when I see you next, Brad, I'll let you borrow the Blu-ray so you can branch out.
Sweet. It is only $10.
It is. I got it for I think $5 or $7. Whenever it was, I think it was Black Friday that it was on sale for that cheap. But yeah, it's definitely worth it to see, because that one they kind of let their creative muscles flex, where they're not tied to the continuity. So,
well, yeah, the continuity is Jason Todd dies, so as soon as you lift that, like, you can go anywhere.
Yeah, and it gets pretty violent, and even one of the endings is really shocking too. Because I watched it and I kept on picking the bad choices, and they're fun. And but then the second time I watched it, I chose all the good stuff, and it has kind of an interesting ending. But then I went back and I chose all of the good stuff until I could choose a bad thing, and it made it pretty gruesome. So yeah, I recommend everybody watch the gruesomeness.
So does Bruce Wayne still narrate all the choices, like,
no
after?
No,
just that one thread.
The other one, Jason Todd narrates, but it's broken up. So do you want me to tell you one of the choices so it makes sense?
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he'll tell you what's going on, and how it came to that choice, but then it cuts to actual movie. You know, it's basically like the Batman one where he's narrating over stuff happening, but then it'll cut to all the new stuff.
Yeah, because the Batman one is just flashbacks from stuff we've pretty much mostly seen.
Exactly, because I think
things.
the Batman one's like 85% old.
Yeah, it's under the Red Hood, and then the new stuff made for Death of Robin. So
yeah,
yeah. I always thought that was a cool thing to do with DVDs. I'm surprised, like in 20 years, it has been done so little.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe I'll just do it myself.
Do it. And that's what I
alternate
watched.
endings for Jean-Claude Van Damme's Damn Van.
Ryan, really quickly, I did forget
Yes.
one thing I did want to bring up with you here. I did rewatch You Can't Cheat an Honest Man. And the only reason I bring it up is because I texted it to you, but I wanted everybody else to hear this for posterity's sake. It's a movie with W.C. Fields and Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy. It has a lot of outdated stuff. That's not the point, although, obviously I'll talk about it some other time. The big thing is that the climax of this movie, once again, it's a movie in the 30s, a comedy, and the climax of this movie is a hot air balloon. And I need to know from all of you guys here, is a hot air balloon climax a good selling point for you as an audience member? Like, is that what you guys want out of life? So I'm still trying to figure out what
Community did it.
Yeah, okay. Community aside, I'm talking about like a theatrical movie. Like what? I texted Ryan after I rewatched it, and I was like, I need you to tell me if I'm crazy, but like, how is this still a thing 5 years after they did it and It's in the Air? Like, I was like beating my head against the table trying to figure out why a hot air balloon works for comedy.
It's still romantic in the 30s.
I guess so, but like, I mean, here's the thing. The reason why it's funnier here and not in It's in the Air is because it has Edgar Bergen and his two dummies operating this hot air balloon. That's what makes it hilarious. Outside of that, though, I'm trying to figure out, like, oh, God, like, I want to do a new series called Movies with Hot Air Balloons in the Climax. And, like, the one allusion that I drew to the present was, like, Great Muppet Caper when they start the movie in the hot air balloon before they deflate it intentionally to then say that they're in a movie. That's all I watched this week. This week, we saw Judas and the Black Messiah. Corinne, should people see Judas and the Black Messiah?
This movie is really, really good, but it's also really, really depressing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I knew going in it was going to be heavier subject matter, but I guess not knowing how the story ended in real life, I was just sadly shouldn't have been as shocked as I was as to how it ends. Because it's just like, gosh dang it, society. But all the performances are excellent, and it just like every scene is just some little nugget of philosophy or something to just like keep in the back of your mind for like a week later. So ultimately, I think it's worth watching for the educational experience and also just, getting different voices in Hollywood and adding to the mix of stories that we want to be heard and celebrate. But just know going in, it's not going to be a fun movie per se.
Mm-hmm. Brad, should people watch Judas and the Black Messiah?
It is an acting powerhouse, but it is a tough watch because it is depressing. So, yeah. I'm gonna recommend the movie. Obviously, same point as Corinne and Brad, but I looked at this as a very interesting subversionary area of tackling a crime film or a gangster film. And Shaka King, I think, takes a different spin on what would have been a traditional biopic about Fred Hampton and turned it into this
cross between a Donnie Brasco and a Scorsese movie kind of bunched into one. So yeah, I do recommend it. And I think Lakeith Stanfield, Daniel Kaluuya, and Jesse Plemons all give amazing performances in this film. So if nothing else, you should watch it for their roles in the film. Here's the trailer for Judas and the Black Messiah.
I want to share something with you. Like the masses, I was in awe when I first laid eyes on all the things you are. I heard that speech. I knew we'd make noise. I just thought it'd be in the streets.
The Black Panthers are the single greatest threat to our national security. Our counterintelligence program must prevent the rise of a Black Messiah.
You're looking at 18 months for the stolen car, 5 years for impersonating a federal officer, or you can go home.
What do you want?
Get close to Hampton.
The Black Panthers are forming a rainbow coalition of oppressed brothers and sisters of every color.
Neutralize him by any means necessary.
America's on fire right now. And until that fire is extinguished, nothing else means a damn thing. Imagine what we could accomplish together. We can heal this whole city.
You ain't tell me it was gonna be like this. These ain't no terrorists.
We got a rat, man.
Does anybody else know about me?
No one knows your identity.
Are you sure?
We educate, we nurture, we feed, and we lobby. Perhaps we're here for more than just war with these bodies. We scream, and we shout, and we live by this anthem. But it's power to the people really worth their ransom.
When I dedicated my life to people, I dedicated my life.
You get to go up there and talk about dying a revolutionary death because you don't have another person growing inside your body.
Anywhere there's people, there's power.
Judas and the Black Messiah tells the story of Fred Hampton of the Black Panthers welcoming new member Bill O'Neill into the fold of the Black Panther Party of Illinois. Only as we know, the audience, that Bill O'Neill is actually an informant for the FBI, being headed by, in this case, Roy Mitchell, who is his liaison during this mole infiltration of the Black Panthers, all overseen by J. Edgar Hoover, played by Martin Sheen. The movie draws off of the history of the Black Panthers, both from the perspective of the FBI at the time and also what we have learned over the years in regards to that story. Before we get into the heavy topics, I want to ask a question to both of you guys. Is it possible that it's just not realistic to ever try to do makeup for J. Edgar Hoover in movies? Because between this and J. Edgar with Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm just convinced you can't do good makeup to make you look like J. Edgar Hoover.
Martin Sheen looked fine. Obviously you want to kick his character off a cliff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, because it's J. Edgar Hoover. Of course I'd want to kick him off a cliff, but...
Honestly, I don't even know what the real guy's supposed to look like, so whatever.
I mean, it's not too dissimilar. It's just, I don't know, the makeup kind of, threw me off a little bit. I'm like, we still can't do this right, but, I'm not going to give him flack, because I think it still looks better than Leo's makeup in J. Edgar. But
what
now
they need to do is they just need to find the Mission Impossible people and get them to make face masks of J. Edgar Hoover.
But they
Boom,
need to.
problem solved.
But they need to. In COVID times, Corinne, they need to save that for all the Mission Impossible movies that they can make. But as far as the elements of the story, I guess I'm wondering like how you guys viewed the movie in terms of how it unfolded. Like, were you expecting a biopic and kind of feel like you got something else, or do you basically get what you thought you were going to get going in?
I didn't really have any expectations. I just figured this is going to be a movie about, black leaders trying to make their society better and the world they live in better, fight injustice, all that. I guess I read the description. I watched it on HBO Max at home, and it did just have like a quick synopsis. So that's about all I knew going into it. And also that, Daniel Kaluuya and Lakeith Stanfield were in it. But yeah, that's about. I really didn't have any expectations.
Yeah, I had.
I guess I was a little confused at the very beginning when they showed the documentary footage, because I'm like, is this guy like an actor? Are they doing like a recreative sort of thing? Or is that the real guy?
Yeah, well, it's Lakeith in the beginning and in the middle, and then they revert back to the real Bill. They refer back to the real Bill O'Neill at the end for, I guess it's Eyes on the Prize 2, which I'm not familiar with. Part of my interest level going in ended up being because like a couple of years back for Real Nerds, when I was going through like what we've been watching, one of them was a documentary on the Black Panthers from PBS that clarified and explained the Black Panthers from a perspective that I had not been privy to prior to that. A lot of my perception of the Black Panther Party came from the stories handed down from the perspective and the angle of the FBI or the Nixon administration. Like that narrative had still been driven downfield to somebody like me. So to understand what the Black Panther programs were about from a different perspective helped me ingest the information better rather than just going in with the assumptions from the angle of an FBI or a Nixon administration at the process. But what I like about the film, though, is that it toes this interesting line. Brad and I watched it together, and when we got out of the movie, Brad, you said something pretty interesting in regards to that.
I don't remember.
It was a gangster movie with two gangs at war with each other, the FBI and but they have different elements of the different black empowerment movements represented in the film, which I was not aware of. Like, I don't know who the Crowns are. But they team up with these different groups to rebuild their chapter headquarters after it's decimated. So like it was interesting kind of like getting this new injection of information that I would then want to go off and do independent research on my own after the fact. And also, as I said up at the top, it does an interesting subversion of a gangster movie. Like, it's like a Donnie Brasco or Departed, where you know that there's a mole inside, and the bomb under the table has been set, that he's an informant, and you're wondering when is that bomb going to go off.
Yeah, I guess I did think it was interesting that he never really got caught.
Right. Well,
and that he actually, it seemed like they kind of gave him an out with the whole thing at the end of like the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
And then he apparently decides to go back in. I don't know. That was really interesting.
Yeah, I'm the fact that he continued to be an operative or a mole in there is interesting. It's something I almost kind of wish the movie were a little longer to kind of delve into that area, because
the one element of this film that made me scale it back in my rating to 4.5 ended up being that the ending feels a bit abrupt. Technically, we've had an entire arc completed where, the mole is technically the successful victor in this film, like by traditional movie standards. Obviously, if we're going from the philosophical point, that's where things become more clear that Fred Hampton is murdered, and that it's Bill O'Neill, rightfully so, feels guilty as all hell for that. But to then have that documentary footage of him after the fact talking about what he did, and then the subtitle text saying that Bill O'Neill killed himself hours after this interview, like that to me is something of great interest that I kind of almost wish. I'm not saying you need to dramatize it, but I would love you to lead into that moment in a different way. But I think that the movie does a really good job at keeping your interest level engaged when it comes to the presentation style of this film. Like, it tries to operate like a really intriguing crime mystery, like gangster film that ends up becoming more of a philosophical debate and less of a crime movie with a traditional rise and fall. So Shaka's script and his direction are able to kind of adjust our expectations for the kind of movie we get within the first 30 to 45 minutes, which is, guy gets caught with a crime, says, you don't want to go to jail? Okay, you've got to infiltrate this group of people for us. And then as the movie progresses and Fred Hampton's message progresses and his development as a character progresses, we start realizing that this is more complicated waters than just your simple FBI is sending an informant in to stop the bad guys movie. It then becomes an actual debate, an internal debate for Lakeith Stanfield in his mind. So, and also just watching Daniel Kaluuya just knock it straight out of the park as Fred Hampton, like that is an incredible performance. If you're going to give him an Oscar that he should have got for Get Out, I'd argue you give it to him here for Fred Hampton.
And I think the film does a good job of kind of showing you all the different perspectives going on within this kind of setup and all the kind of main players, even though they don't necessarily all interact with each other. And just showing you like where they're coming from and you empathize with them. Or I felt like Bill, I was like, okay, yeah, like I feel you, like where you're coming from, like you got, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. And then, of course, at the very end, it's like, okay, I really don't see, I'm sorry, I can't justify the decision that you made.
Yeah.
Even though I get it, but it's like you stepped over the line.
What's interesting, I got into an uncomfortable spot by the midpoint because I'm like, sooner or later, we're getting to the moment where a lot of, like a good fraction of our lead characters, if we're talking about the three key leads in the film, which are Kaluuya, Stanfield, and Plemons, 2 out of those 3 are going to end up being the ones we boo at the end of the movie. Like, it's just an undeniable conclusion. And what I found interesting is actually, there's obviously the scenes with Stanfield playing the part when he realizes that they killed when they killed the guy they thought was a mole, or tortured the guy they thought was a mole. Like, you see him having to play a part within a part and then go out of that part to get the information that he needs. And then we get that, and then there's that scene with Plemons inside Hoover's office. That is one of the most uncomfortable movie scenes I've seen in a movie
where
this
they're
year.
Talking about his daughter.
Yeah, that was.
Oh my gosh.
That's I made a comment about J. Edgar earlier, and I used to kind of give that movie some slack because I thought it was trying to tell an intriguing story. I don't think I can justify that now because I think in the span of a 5-minute scene, that managed to tell a better J. Edgar Hoover story and an analogy about his life than an entire biopic about him tried to, because that scene is uncomfortable, it's tension fueled, and it explains exactly who Hoover was. And just watching Plemons react, like, you do get the sense that Plemons isn't fully convinced of what he's having to do, but he's having to put on this facade because of what his job is. But there's also, then it also goes into the question of how he feels by the end of the movie. And the answer is, like, I don't know. Like, all I know is I have this scene where he's put in this very weird, uncomfortable position by his uppers, where I'm like, I don't like Plemons by the end of the movie, but you gave me this scene and it's very, very interesting.
The thing that got me was how, like, after Fred goes to prison initially, and Bill is, like, he kind of takes up the charge of, like, helping rebuild the chapter after everything, you know, physically and I guess personnel-wise, because they're all like, oh, it's all thanks to Bill, like, he's the one who really got the ball rolling and all this stuff. And it just makes it seem like, you know, the FBI or whoever could have just let it fizzle out, let him just piece out of there, and hopefully the chapter just kind of dissolves on its own, well, you know, now that Fred is in prison. But of course, no, they want him to stay in there. And it's like, this is not just you, like, oh, for the greater good, we have to do this, you know, drugs or, you know, armed weapons, what, you know, whatever their excuse is of, like, monitoring these people. They're like, no, like, it's personal for them. They have a vendetta against the Black Panthers.
It's like if the Black Panthers dissolve, then it's like you're almost out of a job or something. Well,
because this is a war.
Yeah, for Hoover, it was this weird. It feels like it was this weird paranoid vendetta he had amongst other things. I mean, shoot, he was going after Martin Luther King. Like, this isn't unknown information. And the way that Hoover lays into his own paranoia and his vendetta and his racist edict against it is that conversation over the phone about, well, Fred's going to go back to prison. Like, he's gonna lose his appeal. And he goes, like, you know, Huey Newton became a celebrity in prison. And then once you hear those words out of his mouth, that's when you realize, like, Hoover's gone to the point of, like, no, he has to be killed now. And then that's where you get this. I mean, I'll be honest, like,
it's not enough. It's not enough to lock an innocent man up in prison for no reason.
Yeah, for somebody of Hoover's ilk, it's either you break him there or you break him permanently. And unfortunately, we got that latter. And I don't like. Well, I mean, we shouldn't have had to break him, period, because Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers, like, a lot of they were doing was working towards self-improvement within the community, and look what happened. So, like, it is a very, especially given the environment we live in, it is a very, very frustrating, hard thing to sit through without taking stock of what you've witnessed around. And, I mean, I think that the movie's target in his regards to, like, how it portrays law enforcement or the Black Panthers and whatnot, I think it really is trying to lay out the story as it unfolds in a crime film, in a genre fashion, to then ask you to think by the film's end. One of the things I like about the film is I don't feel like it's lecturing to me, but it does educate me at the same time. It gives me food for thought while not shoving the lesson down my throat. Like, Shaka King made a movie that is aware of how to make an experience for the audience to get invested in emotionally, using the tools of a trade that have been stock and trade for years. Like, the movie plays out like The Departed in a lot of ways, where it's very entertaining to watch, but then it goes a step up from The Departed by having a lot more thought and insight stuck within it.
And cultural relevance.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like The Departed, but yeah, it does not take stock of the environment as fully as it could compared to something like this. And I do think that it is doing a very admirable job for a movie that isn't as long as some usual historical epics. Like, it gets a lot of information packed in there, and it doesn't spare on it, but it still moves at a clip. Like, I did not feel bored in this movie. I felt very, very compelled all the way through. And as frustrating and upsetting as you feel by the end of the movie, I would want to watch this movie again in a heartbeat. And I'm glad I got to see it in the theater while I had the chance. So,
yeah, I don't think I could watch it again. Not because it's bad, but just because it's like, especially those last 10, 15 minutes with the raid and all the text that comes up at the end.
I had to plug my ears during the raid because it felt all too real. So like I was uncomfortable up until the moment I knew that any violence was done. So like I mean, I don't even feel comfortable calling it a raid. It really should just be like a mass murder or something. Like oh my God, that scene where the guy just shoots through the door. The scene that pushed the uncomfortability for me was, and I'm not read up on it, so I don't know where the truth lies in it, but like, because we've established that Fred has the relationship he does with Deborah, the one of the raiders having a gun pointed at her stomach, her pregnant stomach.
I was so scared for her.
That was one of the most uncomfortable microseconds of film I've ever seen. Like I was like grabbing the arm of my chair, going like, "Please don't." And
I was sitting there thinking, if they do anything to her, I'm throwing this TV out the window.
Because even knowing that there was the murder, I don't know the details of it. So this movie is presenting a form of that story that then I can go later and look at. And so like to watch it unfold in that way was very, very fascinating. And again, it's inspired by true events. I would like to know where they took liberties and where they let everything unfold as it actually happened, like where the balance lies on that.
Well, I mean, the civil case definitely found that there was some kind of, misdeed and
because otherwise they wouldn't have settled.
Conspiracy to kill him.
Because otherwise they wouldn't have settled.
That could almost be a movie in and of itself. 12 years that court case was in.
I would love to see that movie and to see how that unfolds, because I think it's as equally important to the story. Brad, do you have any thoughts? You've been kind of quiet.
No. Once again, you guys have covered everything and moved on from everything so fast that I am just shopping online now.
What are you?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, Brad. What are you buying?
Psycho Gorman Hunky Boys Edition Blu-ray.
Wait. Is it like this? Is there a standard guys edition?
The Canadian one comes with like the soundtrack and I guess some trading cards and a reversible cover.
I want that.
Okay, Brad, let me ask you, is there a part of the movie that stands out in your mind?
That execution raid was pretty terrible, but I was gonna. I didn't realize until just now. It's very much like The Departed as a movie structure, but historically, it's such a bummer to, realize that how defensive people are about, culture clashes. It's just like the ignorance of not wanting to open up or hear a different point of view to that extent is just so frustrating to me. And to watch it unfold is just obviously worse in actual history being there. Like, I have the luxury of sitting there just being able to watch it passively and just thinking about how much more terrible it is to actually go through all that. It's just really frustrating. And God, the acting, just Kaluuya giving those speeches, just so good.
I mean, not like he did a bad job. I would have said that Lakeith Stanfield was the standout for me, just because, like Zach was saying, like he has to do such a range of emotions and like roles within roles, and you can like see the expressions and the emotion and what do they call it? I was watching some like Vanity Fair thing where they had like an acting coach come in and talk about these different death scenes, and he was talking about Denzel Washington, and he's like, you can literally see like his inner monologue on his face.
Yeah,
and like that one scene where, like you were talking about, where the mole is there, or well, he doesn't know it's a mole.
Yeah, he doesn't know that's the mole. He thinks that there
Right.
was a mole. Yeah.
But yeah, you can literally see like his thought processes on his face.
Yeah, like when he's like getting all high and mighty about like, I would have killed him. You can literally watch the transformation, because Shaka's direction is such that he is keeping on him, even as he has the L cut of the other guy moving in and out of the frame, and he's kind of keeping it in this kind of handheld verite style, and you see Lakeith like slowly die inside.
There was some other scene, I can't remember which one, where he like walks out of the Black Panthers building, he gets in his car. I forget what exactly had just happened, but he like starts chuckling to himself.
Oh, no, okay, that I'm not thinking of it. I was thinking of the one where he shows the explosive to Fred, which I'm assuming was to basically get him to,
right,
like,
he had
the wire on him, yeah. No, yeah, when he's laughing to himself. Oh, God. I don't remember what this one was.
Anyway.
Yeah, I can't remember. Can I tell you, though, one of my favorite moments in the movie that doesn't have anything to do with the overall message of this film?
Is it the scene where the Deborah's reading her poetry to him?
Okay, that's an amazing scene. That's an amazing emotional scene. I wanted to talk about my favorite scene from a perspective of like the genre filmmaking that Shaka King's involved in. So after they go to see The Crowns, and one of them recognizes Bill from earlier, and they get
the scene in the car,
yeah,
where they're like, if you boosted it, let's see you do it again.
The scene with the car, like there's this tension, even though
I
I'm
couldn't
fully
stand it. I had to fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, there was a tension there of like, I know he's gonna get over this, but I need to see how this unfolds step by step, and I was like fixated internally on what the hell was gonna happen there. And there's true tension in him taking apart that car to then re-hotwire it. Like, it was like just watching him go through and figure out how he's going to reposition himself as the good guy there in the case of the group, I thought was just spellbinding. So yeah, it's a very good film. I would imagine it's gone from HBO Max at this point. If you have a theater to go to, I would go. And if you've got to purchase it on Amazon, I think it is more than worth that rental price you're paying for.
If I can compare it to Just Mercy real fast, because both of them, I mean, obviously they're tackling kind of these social justice issues related to the Black community. And I think they both have the same thing where it's like, gosh dang it, like so much time has passed and yet nothing has changed, and you get really frustrated about it. Like that whole raid scene at the end of Judas and the Black Messiah, of course, made me think of Breonna Taylor and that whole incident. But unlike Just Mercy, I felt like Just Mercy ended on a kind of like a little twinge of a hopeful moment of just kind of like, things can get better, this can change, Just Mercy and all that. And this film ends on such a downer note. I had to like go watch a bunch of other stuff last night because I'm like, I can't go to bed after this. Like, shit.
I felt about this movie the same way that I felt watching Malcolm X the first time I saw it. Where now the difference being that the Malcolm X takes a little bit longer to tell its story. But by the end of the film, I think you are made much more aware of a legacy while still understanding that there is a major problem. Now, and then another example from a more recent time would probably be Black Klansman, where we have the ending we do in that movie, where we've assumed there's a wrap up on an optimistic hope, and then we get the scene where Ron Stallworth and his lady friend throughout the movie looking out the window to see a burning cross. Like I think that I like Just Mercy a lot because it does a lot with a genre that I would have assumed would have been too hokey for this generation. But I think movies like Judas and the Black Messiah are necessary to, if you're going to talk a story of that type of relevance, it would be disingenuous to leave it on an overtly optimistic note. I think the optimism actually comes from the fact that the current Black Panther representative party is actually Fred Hampton Jr. I think that's the tinge of optimism you get, is that Deborah and their son has.
I don't know him though.
I
so
don't.
I'm kind of like, that's great, I guess, but okay.
I don't know either. I don't know him either. But I would take the gander that that's the form of optimism it takes. But I think the movie is trending toward this. This very poignant note to alert you to the fact that the progress that needs to happen has happened slow, and they're making you aware of it, that it still hasn't changed. That's the key thing that they're aiming at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, you get, like, Fred Hampton gets murdered, Bill kills himself, the civil case took 12 years to finally, before they finally settled and said, yeah, there was a conspiracy to kill him. And then you hear, like, oh, yeah, like, nothing's changed. And it's like, oh, great.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I would
a little bit of
I would say to step outside the film realm for a second, if you're going to talk about it from the context of like being alert to those things, as you like, even without taking the film point for point on fact, being alert of the situation that surrounds you in the world, which I think is just as important as the message that Just Mercy gives about having that optimism that things will change. I think that both messages are of equal merit and equal value, but I understand why one of them feels way more depressing than the other and can leave you on a very, very dark note by the time you've walked out of the theater or out of your home. So, but yeah, cool. I heard that Ryan had some thoughts about the movie. Why don't we check in on him and see how he's doing?
So it's Ryan, and I'm calling with my review for Judas and the Black Messiah. This film is pretty good. It's anchored by some really great performances. It moves by really quickly, even though it's 2 hours long. And I was talking to Brad, because I had to sign off on the podcast early due to me not having time to see the film. And he told me that Zach and Corinne went on and on and on about the film, so I'm not going to bore anybody. Yeah, I think you should see it, and the performances are the biggest selling point. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Ryan. We're sorry that you...
Interesting take.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to talk about how Robert Downey Jr. was almost cast as Jesse Plemons' character, but there you go.
So what do we want to watch next week?
I want to watch The Horn Blows at Midnight from 1945, starring the great Jack Benny,
No.
the great Alexa Smith, and the great Franklin Pangborn. No, I don't know. What is next week, Brad?
Ryan, what do you want to watch? Ryan?
Ryan's not here.
Come on, man. Don't be like this.
Ryan's not here, man. Neither is Dave.
So
gosh.
I think it's like Raya and the Last Dragon, and then also Coming to America is out.
Oh, I'd like to go.
Is there anything the week after that?
There's also Chaos Walking next week.
A girl.
Yeah, but I feel like we should probably do one of the bigger movies.
But Corinne, oh my God, it's a girl, and there's a room full of guys.
How do you know it's big?
I've never heard of, what is it, Chaos Walking?
I
don't know what that is.
It's about how Tom Holland and Mads Mikkelsen and a bunch of other dudes have never seen a lady for a while, and then suddenly Daisy Ridley shows up, and Tom Holland's like, oh my God, it's the lady. And she's like, why can I see your thoughts and hear your thoughts? And he's like, I don't know, why can't I read your thoughts? Because, see, it's an allegory for young adults. Anyway, but yeah, so Ryan the Dragon next week. Until then, guys, good night.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.